Sim Chow Fitness here. You seen the title, man? You know what it is down below. Today I wanted to give you guys a tip for how to be a man. One of the big tips that I've picked up in my life that's like really served me well, right? And has continued to serve me well, right? You do this, you're off to the races, right? I used to have a math teacher who used to say, if you can go ahead and do this, square root that, and do that, you're off to the races. And we all knew that if we just learned this simple mathematical Pythagorean theorem, algorithm, whatever it is, then we'd be off to the races. And we know that we'd get at least a C on the test. This is sort of the same thing, right? You do this one thing, and then you will go ahead and it will be a domino effect into being a man for the rest of whatever it is you need to do, right? So the rest will kind of all fall into place, and even if it doesn't, you will kind of get halfway there anyway. Be that as it may, here it is, right? I've spoken about it in other videos. You shall not talk about another man negatively behind his back, right? Once again, don't talk negatively about another man behind his back, right? It's real simple, right? It sounds brilliant, right? Pretty much anybody who does talk, any man who does talk about another man in a negative way behind their back, right, is not a man, right? That's just the bottom line, and you should know this. And you should stay away from the people who do talk negatively about other men behind their backs, right? So, for example, let's say you know somebody who talks negatively about another man, his fellow man, behind their back. You should stay away from that person, because that person only means you harm. Because come next couple of days, he's going to go ahead and he's going to talk negatively about you, right? To the guy he just spoke negatively to about you, with you. Right? So he's going to turn that all around and speak back. You don't need none of it. It's drama that you don't need. And that's just some female stuff. We've been over this before. I've spoken about it in other videos. You know, men don't talk negatively about other men behind their backs. And that's just the bottom line. Right? You figure this out in life. Just figure this out in life, and you will be so much farther than the other people. What? My wife says I'm repeating myself. You'll be so much farther along than other people. It's not even funny. Okay, so just get this one thing down. Now there's another thing, right? If there's a man who does speak about other men, right, behind your back, right, behind people's backs, right, then you're allowed to speak about that man. In other words, if there's a man who's not a man, then you are allowed to speak negatively about that man, because he only means to do other people harm. So it's your duty, it's your job to go ahead and speak negatively about that person, right? If he truly is not a man and truly is a wrongdoer, it's your duty to speak out against that person, so this way people don't get harmed and caught into the hype and the drama that is that man, right? That is that lack of man. Right, so these are all things I like to think about. These are all things I like that percolate in my mind when I think about the type of relationships and the type of people I like to get myself involved with. Right, so hope that tip serves you guys well. It's worth its weight in gold, and use it well.